I'm struggling with my intro tonight. Whew. Alright, hi guys, hope you're having a great week and a great day. Today's video, as you can tell, is going to be a story time, but I am trying something a little bit different. So make sure you hang around till the very end of the video, because there's going to be something really cool at the end. And it'll all make sense once we get to it. I just don't want to say it now because it's going to ruin the story if I just say it now. But yeah, if you're not enjoying the story, just stick it out. It's just the intro and everything. Oh, I've already almost ruined it. Just trust me, okay? Also, if you guys are enjoying this content, please consider subscribing. We are on the path to 500 and you guys are keeping me hella motivated. One video every week. What is happening? Enough chatting. I will see you guys after the video. Enjoy. The ancient tower loomed ominously at the edge of the cliff, its jagged silhouette stark against the stormy sky. The wind howled mercilessly, and the ocean below roared with a ferocity that matched Eldric's internal turmoil. He tightened his cloak around his shivering frame as he climbed the narrow, crumbling stairs, each step a grueling reminder of the desperate path he had chosen. Eldric's heart raced, a storm of fear and desperation making his legs feel as though they might give out at any moment. His life had been a series of failures and misfortunes, a constant struggle to scrape by on the fringes of society. He had never been a warrior or a hero, just an outcast, a man forsaken by his own family. His only solace and source of strength was his younger sister, Anaya. Their parents had once been respected members in the community, but their involvement in dark magic had led to their downfall. Eldric remembered the whispers of his mother, who had spoken of forbidden rituals and blood pacts in hushed, frantic tones when he was a child. Their father, too, had dabbled in dark knowledge, seeking power that had ultimately led to their disgrace. When the villagers discovered their occult practices, the reaction had been swift and brutal. Accused of witchcraft, their home was destroyed, and the family was cast out, branded as pariahs. Banished from their town, Eldric and Anaya were abandoned in the harsh wilderness, left to fend for themselves. Their father had been killed in the scuffle, and their mother had vanished with a stranger, leaving behind only fragmented memories and a deep-seated fear of the dark arts that had cursed their family. Eldric's childhood had been haunted by tales of a demon named Zarathus. His mother's cryptic stories about the demon's power and the sacrifices required for such pacts had become a dark legend in his mind. Years passed, and survival became a daily struggle. Eldric had worked tirelessly to keep Anaya safe, but when she fell ill with a mysterious sickness that defied all remedies, the darkness that had loomed over their family seemed to be claiming its final toll. Eldric watched helplessly as his sister's condition worsened, her once vibrant spirit fading into a pale shadow. The illness was more than physical. It was as if the curse of their past was finally demanding its price. The weight of her suffering was unbearable. Every breath she took was a reminder of his failure to protect her. Every cough, a stab of guilt. Desperation drove Eldric to seek any solution, and the old stories from his mother's ramblings became his only hope. The legend spoke of a dark tower, a place where one could make a pact with Zarathus, a demon who could grant unimaginable power in exchange for a dire price. The crystal he now carried was stolen, a theft he had committed out of sheer desperation. It had been taken from a collector in a nearby village, a decision that filled him with guilt and fear. Eldric was no hero, just a frightened man trying to save his sister from the darkness that had consumed their lives. The crystal was his last hope, and he could only pray that the demon would honor the pact he was about to make. As Eldric climbed the tower, each step seemed to echo with the weight of his decision. The cold and the darkness pressed in on him, amplifying his anxiety. He felt every heartbeat, every shiver of fear, as if the very air was alive with the malevolent presence of Zarathus. At the tower's summit, he found himself in a chamber inscribed with runes that glowed faintly. The air was thick with the scent of damp stone and something more sinister. In the center stood an altar of stone. Eldric hesitated. The enormity of his choice pressed heavily on him. The thought of Anaya, lying frail and helpless, was the only thing keeping him anchored in place. The fear of making the wrong choice, of invoking forces beyond his understanding, was nearly paralyzing. But the image of her suffering drove him forward. He had to save her, no matter the cost. With shaking hands, he took out the blood-red crystal he had stolen. The weight of his actions, the theft, and the pact he was about to make was almost too much to bear. He placed the crystal on the altar, and the runes around it began to glow with an otherworldly light. Zarathus, I call upon you. By blood and shadow, I summon thee. Eldric chanted, his voice trembling with fear and resolve. The words were a haunting echo of the tales his mother had once whispered, the promise of dark power that had haunted him for years. The chamber fell into an oppressive silence, broken only by the distant howl of the wind. Slowly, the temperature dropped, the air growing colder as shadows in the room coalesced into a dark, swirling form. Eldric's breath came in ragged gasps as the figure of Zarathus materialized, its eyes burning with a malevolent glow. You summon me? The demon's voice rumbled, filling the chamber with a weight that made Eldric's knees buckle. His throat tightened, his voice barely above a whisper. I am Eldric, of the Azure Tower. I seek a pact. The demon's eyes narrowed, and the shadows around it rippled with what seemed like amusement. A pact? And what would you offer in exchange for what you seek? My blood, Eldric said, drawing a dagger from his belt. He pressed the blade to his palm, letting the blood drip down onto the altar. And my soul, if necessary. I ask only that you save my sister, Anaya, cure her of this affliction that no magic can heal. The demon was silent for a long moment, its gaze fixed on Eldric with an unsettling intensity. Your blood, and your soul, for the life of another? A simple request, but the price is steep. Once the pact is made, you will be bound to me. Your will and your life will be tied to my will. You accept these terms? Eldric's heart pounded, each beat a reminder of the gravity of his choice. The darkness he was inviting into his life was immense, but the thought of Anaya's suffering gave him the strength to proceed. I accept, his voice quivering with the weight of his decision. The shadow suddenly surged forward, enveloping him in a wave of cold, suffocating darkness. Pain laced through his body as the demon's power twisted and reshaped him, binding his soul to the pact. The agony was overwhelming. When the darkness finally receded, Eldric collapsed to his knees, gasping for breath. The chamber was silent once more, the demon's presence gone. A dark, swirling mark now adorned his chest, a visible sign of the pact he had made. He took the vial of black liquid left on the altar with trembling hands, the weight of his actions heavy on his shoulders. He had saved Anaya, but at what cost? What had he actually unleashed upon himself, and what would the demon demand in return? As Eldric descended the tower, the storm outside raged on, the wind howling like a chorus of lost souls. The choice he had made had set him on a path from which there was no escape, and the darkness that now dwelled within him would follow him to the end of his days. So what I'm doing is I'm doing a video series This was part 1. But the thing is, I'm not choosing the plot. You guys are. So there's going to be a link down below, top comment, or in the description. Every single time I post one of these videos, you're going to have the option to vote. Either A or B. And that's whichever one has the most votes is going to be how I write the next part of the story. So you guys are pretty much choosing how this whole story is going to go. I have been so excited to get this video out. It's been bugging me. I'm sitting here on a Monday night editing. I don't edit on Mondays, I edit on Thursdays. But I was like, I need to just get this video out my system because I'm so excited. So yeah, please make good choices because I don't want to butcher this plot. If the whole plot just goes downhill, it's your fault, guys. I take no responsibility. No, this is gonna be amazing. I'm so excited to see this happen. So yeah, go vote, go have an amazing week, and make smart choices. I will see you guys next week with the plot that you choose. See ya.